This is a warning. Are your low prices killing your business? If so, you need to raise them now. We're going to talk today about how profits can make can disappear actually if your processes do not keep up with the rate of inflation. My name is Lynette. I'm the founder of AT Pros Inc. And today we're going to go over some tips and some tricks, and hopefully you will find something that you can put into place today in order to be profitable tomorrow. So grab a pen and a piece of paper and a drink if you want, and let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about pricing. So, warning, your low prices are killing your business. We need to raise them now. Cheap gets you busy, profitable gets you free. Only one of those builds a real business. So, anyways, what I'm talking about is that the rate of inflation right now over the last 6, 7 years is actually growing much faster than in prior years. The problem that I'm seeing is that my clients are not raising their prices based on current inflation. Now, you may not want to raise your prices because of, loyal clients or whatever, but the materials are getting more expensive. Labor is getting more expensive. Insurance is getting more expensive. So there comes a time that you have to raise your prices just to keep up with those expenses. Otherwise, you will be working for free or at a loss. So we're going to go over some tips and tricks on how to fix that because the goal is, of course, to be profitable and also be fair and competitive. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those points. So, what it is and why it'll cost you. So, you're winning jobs, but you're losing money on every one. Like I said, if you're not pricing correctly, you will find that you are not making enough money on your jobs. And if you do not track those expenses, you actually won't even know until the end of the year if you made money or not. So, it's very important to do that. Your price doesn't cover labor, overhead, taxes, or your own time. Those are part of the job costing, getting an overhead expense, making sure that your labor and your markup is covering those basic operating expenses. You're working full week, staying busy, and still come up short every month. So every payroll, you're struggling to make sure that you have enough money. Or at the end of the year, you're like, where's all my savings? These are a really good sign saying that your prices are not correct, that they're too low, your labor is too low, or your materials aren't being priced out correctly. But underpricing isn't humility, it's financial suicide in slow motion. So, and what that means is that you're basically, you don't have to feel bad about underpricing, but it is a slow death to a company if you're not pricing your labor and your materials correctly. So, why it matters right now. Every low price job you take blocks a profitable one from getting in. So, every time you have a job that you have underbid on or whatever, just to keep busy, keep your employees busy or something, also blocks up the time slot that you could have used trying to find another client that was actually a more profitable customer. It's nice to be busy and stay busy, but it's also nice to have the jobs that you actually enjoy working on and you actually are profitable and your employees are being paid timely and you don't have to worry about if you can make payroll on Friday because you're underpriced. Material costs are up, labor costs are up. Your price from 3 years ago is not. A lot has changed in the last 3 years. We've got out of COVID, we're recovering, people are going back to work. But some of the pricing of the materials and things that we get from other countries actually have increased. We don't have the tariffs really anymore, but there's still some things up in the air. So there's a lot of unknowns. So you have to make sure that you price those things into your materials and labor, especially if you're giving a quote today when tomorrow we may have something a little bit different. So make sure that you always allow yourself a little bit of cushion because things can change. You're better off having a little bit of an overpricing when it comes to materials and then adjust down than it is to try and adjust back up. You're training customers to expect cheap, and those customers will never pay you what you're worth. And there's not saying anything bad with the customer. It's just really hard to raise prices on customers that have been loyal to you for so many years, but you're just not making any money. They're loyal customers. You appreciate their business, but you just can't continue working with them if you can't raise your prices. It's not worth it. At some point, you will be working for free or at a loss. One price increase. This is very important. So one price increase conversation is uncomfortable. 1 year of underpricing can end your business. So that is one of the reasons why it's so important to make sure you monitor your pricing at least once a year. So the difference one decision makes. So let's use Kevin the plumber as an example. Kevin bids every job to win, not to profit. He's booked 8 weeks out, so he seems like he's doing great, but his take home is less than his lead technician. He can't afford insurance, personal insurance. He skips his own salary for 2 months, and finally he burns out and he closes his business. With a plan in place, with the proper pricing, Kevin is able to raise his prices 18%. It sounds like a lot, but it's after calculating his real cost per hour. He loses 2 price-sensitive customers, but his income goes up by $3,200 a month. These are for like maintenance contracts, things like that, or possible even new contracts. He books fewer jobs, but he makes more money. There's a saying, work smarter, not harder. So you need to make sure that you are pricing your things based on what the market could bear, but also you cannot sell yourself short. You cannot operate at a loss. You will lose and your business will suffer. Your employees will be out of business if you have employees, or they'll be out of work if you're out of work. So it's better to have less jobs, but proper pricing than it is to have more jobs and work at a loss. So these are warning signs. If any of these warnings sound familiar to you, it could be costing you money and or time. So you haven't raised your prices in more than 12 months, despite raising cost. You know how much the lumber costs. You know how much the materials cost. You know how much the new machinery cost, but you're not raising your prices. Your busiest months are also some of your least profitable months. You have a lot of jobs. You have a lot of signed estimates and contracts and everything in place. You're working, and you're like, why isn't there any money left over? So it's showing that you're not making any profit. You feel uncomfortable quoting your real price, so you discount it before they even push back. You're going to have pushback on pricing, but the bad thing is that you are the middle between the materials and labor cost and your client. You're the one who has to break the news that the economy is not like it was 3 years ago. It's not like what it was even 12 months ago. That unfortunately, these are the pricing the materials have went up, and you have to price your estimates accordingly. If they push back, obviously, it may be that you have to let them go as clients, or you may have to just not follow up on that estimate or bid. You don't know your actual cost per billable hour. You're guessing. So the cost per billable hour is basically every hour that your business is open, or your guys or staff are on the field or in the office or anything. You don't know what your real overhead cost is. So you're just guessing on what your labor should be. You're not figuring out how much you should be incorporated into that expense or anything. It's something that a really good person that can help you with your overhead expenses to figure out what your billable hour is for labor should actually be. Because if your guys are making $35, $40, $50 an hour, that's not covering your overhead. That's covering just your employee. You have to mark up your labor. You also have to mark up your materials. Things that go into materials is like, how about the delivery fee, or going to pick it up, or the insurance to ensure that, that equipment that's sitting on your truck or in your warehouse or in your storage unit. You have to include all of those things into your materials expenses. But most important is rent, insurance, employee benefits, your office staff, your cell phones, all of those things, your vehicle expenses. They have to be incorporated somehow into your pricing. Otherwise, you will not be profitable. So what to fix now? These are things that you can actually start today, or this week at least. And if you do not have a plan in place, you really should look into this. It's going to help you with your business, and I would love to hold you accountable. So you're going to commit to calculating your real cost per hour and repricing at least one service this week. I want you to look at your labor. I want you to look at your materials. I want you to look at any expenses, your maintenance, service contracts, anything like that. You're going to want to really look at that expense and see what it actually covers. You should be including all of your real cost, your labor, materials, insurance, taxes, overhead, and your payroll, the owner. You're going to divide that monthly cost by your billable hours for the period of time. It could be your monthly or whatever. That's going to be all of the employees, including yourself. You're going to add a minimum of 20 to 30% profit margin on top of that number, not before. So after you have all of your expenses. Raise one service price this week and test the response. Most clients won't even blink about it. So if you have a maintenance or whatever, or if you want to increase your hourly labor cost, raise one item this week by that difference, and you will see that your jobs will become more profitable in the long run. If a customer leaves over a fair price, thank them. They weren't profitable anyways. You can't operate at a loss on a job. Even if the client is your best client ever, you just can't. But also, if you share with them that unfortunately expenses have gone up and we haven't been pricing fairly, they may understand also. So you might want to just let them know that you've neglected to change your pricing for the last 3 years since inflation started to really go back up again. So, and like I said, most of the time they will understand. If you lose a client or two, you will make it up by the clients that stay. Those are the ones that actually value your business over your pricing. So in closing, I don't like to go into too much detail on this because I do not want you to be overwhelmed. So I do offer a free handout. It is completely free. There's no obligation. There is a link in the video description and also in the comments. Go ahead and download that. If you do have any questions, though, you can reach out to me either through the comments below, or you can reach out to me through my website at atprosinc.com. Also, I want you to put in the comments below, what is one actionable step that you'll take away this week, or that you'll do this week, that you will actually put into place? Are you really thinking about changing your maintenance expense, or do you want to change your labor, or do you really want to crack down on making sure that your materials are being priced out correctly? If so, like I said, put it in the comments below, and then make sure you revisit. Come back in a few weeks and see if you actually did it. And like always, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on your notification. That will let you know when I have videos uploading again. I'm working to help my specialty trade contractors build their business so that they are more successful, and let them know that I'm available to help them. So my name is Lynette. I'm with AT Pros, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.